The story opens in the bustling district of Ikebukuro, Tokyo, a place filled with arcades. Inside, crowds gather to play rhythm games, try their luck at prize draws, or complain about their losses. Amidst the chaos is the protagonist, a plain high schooler working his part-time job. He is so ordinary and blends into the crowd so well that people call him Mobuo, treating him like a background mob character or an NPC. While carrying a stack of paper rolls, he accidentally bumps into a man. The man turns around aggressively, calling him a loser and telling him to watch where he is going. He quickly apologizes, accepting this as just another average moment in his unremarkable life. His attention is drawn to a specific girl in the arcade. She is cute and has been visiting frequently over the past few days, always alone. He wonders what she is after. She walks over to a crane game machine filled with lazy catfish plush toys and looks intensely through the glass. Standing behind her, he becomes flustered. Her skirt is short, and he nervously tries to avert his gaze to avoid peeking, scolding himself for his impure thoughts. She straightens up and begins to play. She manages to grab the plushie, but the catfish toy slips from the claw at the last second. She tries repeatedly, but fails every time. He observes that she looks worn out, realizing there is a trick to winning that she hasn't grasped. Just then, 3 boys approach her. Among them is the rude man he bumped into earlier. They tease her, calling her a sweet chick and offering to win the prize for her. She politely declines, saying she has it covered. However, the creepy leader slams his hand onto the machine, demanding she drop the attitude and have fun with them. Our lad recognizes the punks and realizes they are harassing her. Deciding he should call for help, he contacts the staff room with a code for trouble. However, his co-workers refuse to help, telling him to deal with it himself. As the punk gets closer, invading her personal space, she reacts with lightning speed. Like a ninja, she raises her leg and delivers a powerful kick directly to the man's face. He collapses instantly, terrifying his 2 friends. She glares at them in fury, shouting that because of that deadbeat, she just wasted 100 yen. She says she worked countless hours at her part-time job to earn it, and since he made her lose it, it's now his turn to pay the price. Terrified by her strength and anger, the remaining 2 men flee the scene. She turns around and catches him staring at her. He freezes. She demands that he give her the prize as compensation. He hesitates, explaining that he is not allowed to just hand out prizes to customers. She argues that it would be cheaper for him to just give it to her, suggesting it is a fair trade for him staring at her earlier. He apologizes for looking, but insists that it isn't a game if she doesn't actually play. She accepts this, but proposes a different solution. If he won't give her the toy, she demands that he coach her until she can win everything in the arcade, declaring that she will not let him leave until she succeeds. He is left completely flustered by the sudden demand. He protests that his shift is almost over, but she refuses to listen. She insists that he hasn't earned the right to have seen her earlier, threatening to tell everyone he was peeking if he doesn't help her. Defeated and intimidated, he bows and agrees to coach her until she wins the lazy catfish prize. He begins by explaining the hard truth about the probability machines. He tells her that no matter how skilled she is, the large 3-pronged claws only grip strongly under specific conditions set by the system. She calls it a scam, but he explains it is just how the payout rate works. He suggests she try a different machine, a bridge setup, where the prizes sit on bars, assuring her that with this machine, she can win purely on skill. Observing that she seems obsessed with the catfish character, he teaches her the trick. Trying to grab the prize directly is a mistake because the claw arms are too weak. Instead, she needs to push the prize just above its center of gravity and tip it over the bars. He demonstrates the technique, effortlessly flipping a prize into the tray. She is amazed, telling him he is better at this than he looks. She grabs his hand in excitement, causing him to freeze up in nervousness. Determined to try it herself, she turns back to the machine. Muttering his instructions, she focuses intensely. She positions the claw, aims carefully, and hits the button. The prize tips over and drops right into the box. Overjoyed, she shouts in victory and hugs him, thanking him profusely. He blushes, unable to look away from her smile, thinking to himself that her genuine happiness is the complete opposite of his own gloomy nature. Suddenly, she realizes they haven't introduced themselves. She introduces herself as Yagashi Nanora, a second-year high school student. Then, with a beaming smile, she asks him a shocking question. "Would you like to go out with me?" He stands there frozen, his face turning bright red. He is unable to process why she would ask him out so suddenly. This moment marks the beginning of the story about the gloomy boy and the energetic girl playing together in the game center. Mobuo is still fidgety, unable to get the previous day's events out of his mind. He recalls the embarrassing misunderstanding. When he thought Yaigashi was asking him on a romantic date, she slapped him to snap him out of it, clarifying she only meant hanging out as friends. He wonders why someone who seems so successful and popular would want to spend time with a loner like him. Suddenly, she appears behind him. Before he can even greet her properly, she grabs his hand and drags him into a cramped photo booth to hide. Inside the small booth, he is flustered by their proximity. She signals for him to be quiet. Through the curtain, he spots two girls in school uniforms standing just outside. She explains the situation. She is actually the school idol top of her class and a student council member. Because of her perfect reputation, it would be troublesome if her classmates saw her hanging out in an arcade, even though playing here is her secret dream. He is overwhelmed, realizing he is hiding in a tiny box with a cute girl. Suddenly, she shifts and accidentally hits a button, causing the machine to blare a loud error message. The girls outside are startled and consider calling the staff. Thinking quickly, he steps out of the booth. Acting in his official capacity as a staff member, he apologizes to the girls and claims the machine is under maintenance. They leave, disappointed but none the wiser. She sighs in relief, safe from discovery. She wastes no time getting back to business. Dragging him toward a fighting game cabinet, a classic one-on-one arcade staple, she points to a promotional poster. It promises a limited edition catfish prize to anyone who can achieve 70 winning strikes against the legendary staff. She declares she will do whatever it takes to win the catfish goods. He adjusts his glasses and reveals the truth. The legendary staff she has to beat is actually him. Surprised but undeterred, she challenges him, declaring it a match between Mob Boy and herself. She tries to land the first strike aggressively. However, he takes gaming seriously. He effortlessly counters her attack, his character slapping hers in the game, proving that her current skills are not nearly enough to defeat him. She complains that he is being too harsh considering she is a girl. He ignores the plea. In the game, he certainly wants to kill her character. He throws an ultimate pulse cannon, resulting in an instant KO. She mutters that he is too strong and accuses him of cheating because he is a staff member. He denies it, asking if she even knows how to play properly. He realizes she is just button mashing without thinking and offers to teach her the basics. She agrees, noting that revision is important. He explains the basics. Choose an easy character, reduce the opponent's HP to 0, and learn how special skills work. He says pro gamers practice until the controls become automatic, just like studying or playing sports. Then he introduces the ultimate special move, a powerful attack that can be used when the power gauge is full and can change the flow of a match. However, the inputs are hard and the timing must be perfect. If the opponent blocks it, the damage is wasted. She claims to understand. In the next round, she actually manages to hit him. He is impressed by her intuition and fast learning. She notices her gauge is full and prepares to enter the command for her killing technique. She unleashes the attack, but he anticipates it. He dodges with a Phoenix fan kick and blocks her follow-up. He punches her character, resulting in another loss for her. He warns her not to be careless when executing skills. She demands another round but continues to lose. She realizes that no matter how hard she tries, she keeps missing one button in the complex sequence because she needs to press them all at the same time. Suddenly, she gets an idea and challenges him again, declaring she will definitely win this time. He accepts, warning he won't go easy on her. As the fight begins, he wonders what she is planning. She decides that to execute the command before he guards, she needs to hit every button simultaneously. Lacking the finger speed, she leans forward and uses her entire upper body to smash the buttons on the arcade cabinet. He freaks out at the sight, finding the method too stimulating and losing his focus. Taking advantage of his distraction, she successfully unleashes the killing technique. His character is defeated. She celebrates her victory, finally winning the limited edition catfish plushie. She eagerly challenges him to continue, wanting to win everything he has. Recovering from the shock, he notes that the same trick won't work on him twice. At the arcade, Yaigashi approaches him the following day, in a panic, crying out for help. She points to a rhythm game called Dancing Evolution, a game where players step on arrows in time with the music. She explains that she cannot beat it, and today is the last day to win a lazy catfish prize by achieving 7 life points on a song. She gets so close to him while begging for lessons that he starts sweating. Despite needing to work, he eventually agrees. He asks her to play around so he can observe her technique. As the music starts, she taps the tiles energetically. He watches, flustered, noting that while she dances well, she is drawing a lot of attention from the crowd. When the song ends, she asks why he is grinning. He quickly denies it, explaining he was just analyzing her moves. She points out that she is still 2 life points away from the prize and asks for advice. He explains the key factors for a high score: stepping accurately and maintaining a combo by not missing arrows. He advises her to focus on the rhythm rather than just visually tracking the arrows. He identifies her main mistake: she is using the same foot for the same arrows. He demonstrates the hardcore gamer method, showing her how to alternate feet to keep up with the pace of complicated songs. He tells her that she cannot just move her feet individually, she has to actually dance. Understanding the advice, she declares she will nail the high score. However, after 2 hours and 1,600 yen spent, she collapses on the platform, still unable to win. Panicking because she is out of money and the arcade is about to close, she asks him what to do. Seeing her desperation, he suggests a different tactic, holding the safety bar behind her. He explains that resting her weight on the bar can make foot movement easier and boost her score, even if some players consider it a crutch. With no time left, she decides to try it. Holding the bar, she starts the final attempt. She immediately feels the movement become easier and the crowd begins to cheer for her awesome performance. Suddenly, a ripping sound tears through the air. Her skirt has slipped and torn. She tries to cover herself but refuses to stop dancing, shouting at him to do something because there is no time left. Flustered and nervous about touching her, he rushes forward and grabs her skirt to hold it up. Despite the incredibly awkward situation, she continues to dance. With his help, she finally crosses the 7 life point threshold and wins the prize. The next day at the arcade, he notices a disturbing sign on the wall announcing that there had been a recent assault inside the arcade and that management asks for eyewitness reports. Reading it, Mobuo thinks to himself that he had better be careful. Suddenly, someone presses the barrel of a gun against his back. He freezes in terror, wondering if he is the next victim. He slowly turns around only to find Yagashi holding a plastic light gun, grinning mischievously. He sighs, telling her that she scared him. She laughs and drags him toward a specific machine. She declares that she has found a game she likes, and if he loses, he has to do whatever she says for the rest of the day. It is a classic rail shooter where players fight off approaching zombies. She claims that she isn't scared to play alone, but argues that it wouldn't be right to leave a damsel alone in a dark place. He translates this in his head. She is terrified of the horror atmosphere and needs a bodyguard. She looks up at the cabinet, asking what the vents are for. He explains that it is a 4D cabinet. The device blows wind, and the seat shakes to add extra immersion. They sit down, and the game begins. The setting is an abandoned hospital. Immediately, she cowers behind him, using him as a human shield. He points out that blocking his view makes it harder to play. He offers some basic tips. Watch the life bar, aim outside the screen to reload, and aim for the head to conserve ammo. Just then, an enemy attacks on screen. She freaks out and fires wildly. He coaches her to aim for the weak points. She manages to kill a zombie and cheers, thinking she has mastered it. He warns her that it isn't over. As they advance, a horde appears, and despite their efforts, the game over screen flashes. She panics, asking if the game is too hard. He explains that arcade games are designed to be beaten by memorizing patterns and by spending money. As long as they have coins, they can continue immediately. She nods, pulling out her coin purse. She declares she will pass this level no matter the cost, paying for both of them. After spending a small fortune, they finally reach the boss. The enemy is incredibly strong. He suggests there must be a hidden item nearby to help them win. While he holds off the boss, she scans the screen and spots a small power-up bottle. She reaches for it, but their health hits 0. The dread continue. Countdown begins. 9, 8. She grips the controller, shouting that they were so close. She looks for a coin, but the change machine is too far away, and he has no money left. Then she remembers the spare change in her bag on the seat beside him. In a panic to beat the timer, she lunges across him to grab the bag. In her haste, she slips and falls face first directly into his lap. He asks what she is doing. She accuses him of stopping her, but he points out that she is the one who fell on him. The countdown hits 0. Game over. She looks up at him in horror, realizes the awkward position, and screams. She slaps him violently across the face, sending him tumbling to the floor. As he lies there in pain, the surrounding crowd whispers, wondering if he is the man mentioned in the assault notice. And so, the culprit of the assault was identified beyond a shadow of a doubt. The next day at the arcade, Nonora is frustrated, complaining that the game she is playing is impossible. Mobu explains that they are not designed to be easy. He then reveals why there are so many new and strange machines around. The arcade is hosting an expo featuring rare machines and old-school technology. He points out a special promotion. If she wins 3 prizes from these machines, she can play a bonus game to win a white lazy catfish. She immediately accepts the challenge. For the first round, he directs her to a human claw machine. She straps herself into the harness, confident it will be a piece of cake. He takes the controls. However, as the machine lifts her into the air, she looks down and panics. It turns out she is terrified of heights. She screams for him to put her down immediately. He lowers her, and the time runs out before she can grab anything. She complains that it was too hard. He suggests a motion control game next. He explains that the claw moves based on how the player moves their body. She tries it, but her movements are too erratic, and she fails. Determined, she grabs his hand and drags him onto the platform to help stabilize her. With his assistance, she finally manages to win a prize. He comments that she is way too into this, but she reminds him that she needs 2 more wins to reach the bonus round. He points her toward a ping-pong scoop game. He explains that it is a game of pure luck. If she scoops a ball and drops it into the right hole, she wins. Luck is on her side, and she wins quickly. Finally, having secured the necessary wins, he leads her to the mysterious bonus game. She puts a coin in, not knowing what to expect. Suddenly, balls begin raining down from the ceiling. He explains it is the popular electric ball game. She must catch 100 falling balls within 1 minute. Realizing she cannot do it alone, she grabs him and pulls him inside the booth, demanding his help. He sighs, but crouches down to help gather the balls. In the cramped, chaotic space, he becomes incredibly flustered watching her scramble around. As the timer ticks down, she shouts that they are almost there. In her haste to grab the final balls, she accidentally touches him in an awkward spot. He freezes, face burning red. In the end, she successfully obtains the precision limited edition item, while he feels he has lost something precious, likely his dignity. The following day, she sits in the driver's seat of a racing game and orders him to hop into the adjacent unit. He feels unable to refuse and obediently sits down, though he internally grumbles that she never lets him say no. Mobu notes that it is a kart racing game, a genre that combines the thrill of driving with the tactical use of items to hinder opponents. The track she chooses is a beginner course with barriers to prevent falling off, ensuring she won't lose easily. She confidently claims that racing games are her specialty. He feigns modesty, saying they aren't really in his wheelhouse, and predicting she will win. The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go. Immediately, he executes a perfect rocket start, timing the accelerator to launch his car ahead with a burst of speed. She yells in shock, demanding to know why he is so fast. Determined not to lose, she chases after him, currently sitting in 4th place out of 6 racers. As she drives, she spots a hovering item box. She picks it up and gets a slippery fungus, an item meant to trip opponents and halt their movement. She throws it at his car, but he reacts instantly, drifting to create a barrier that makes the fungus bounce off harmlessly. He laughs and teases her, admitting she is good at the game but reminding her that other players can attack too. He drops a banana peel onto the track, and she yells at him in frustration. Suddenly, a giant octopus appears on the screen. Because of how immersive the arcade machine is, the effects feel uncomfortably real to her. The octopus wraps its tentacles around her character, restricting movement and making it hard to steer. She desperately tells it to stop, complaining that it's too distracting. As she struggles with the octopus and an unexpected in-game rainstorm, other racers begin to pass her. Even with a mushroom stuck to her face and the octopus targeting her weak points, she refuses to give up. She declares that if she cannot overcome something like this, she will never defeat him. Meanwhile, our lad cruises confidently in 1st place, convinced victory is guaranteed. He briefly wonders how she is doing behind him, unaware that she has pushed through every obstacle and is right on his tail. Suddenly, his tires slide on a banana peel, likely the one he dropped earlier. His car flips, and she speeds past, crossing the finish line in 1st place. He turns toward her in shock, startled by her disheveled looks in the game. But Yagashi tells him to relax, since it is only a racing game. Just like always, Yagashi arrives and clings to his arm, begging him to play. He sighs, thinking that this routine feels like it will last forever. He tries to reason with her, reminding her that he is an employee and cannot play all the time. She insists she only needs a little bit of his time. Just then, a girl walks into the arcade, changing the atmosphere completely. The new gal asks him how long it has been. He hesitates before recognizing her, addressing her as Shinomiya-san. He asks why she is here, and she explains it's because of her father's work. Yagashi grabs him, demanding to know why he looks so flustered and who the girl is. He tells her that Shigura is his childhood friend. They were inseparable until junior high. Yaegashi is surprised that he has such a cute friend. He goes on, describing Shigeru's top grades, athletic ability, involvement in the student council, and overall celebrity status. Yaegashi remarks that the description oddly mirrors her own life. She introduces herself. Shigure, noticing their closeness, looks down nervously and asks if this means they are a couple. Both of them panic. Yaegashi kicks him, insisting she would never date someone like him. While he writhes on the ground, Shigure recalls that they used to play games together long ago, hinting at their shared history. Sensing a challenge, Yaegashi proposes they play together. Shigure agrees and suggests a medal game duel, where each player starts with 10 medals and whoever ends with the most wins. Mubuo is chosen as the judge. The duel begins. Yaegashi plays cautiously on a coin pusher machine, steadily increasing her pile to 15. When she checks her opponent, she finds Shigure slumped on the ground in despair with only one token left. Shigure looks at him pleadingly, and he steps in to help, nostalgic for their past. Grateful, she beams at him. Yaegashi yells at them to stop, vowing to crush her opponent so thoroughly she won't wake up for weeks. Fueled by jealousy, her medal count quickly jumps to 820. Shigure asks what to do next. At that moment, Yaegashi trips over a bar. He reaches to catch her but freezes mid-motion, while Shigure bets her final token on a high-stakes slot. Time passes. Yaegashi, confident with 1,409 medals, is shocked to see Shigure ahead with 1,620. Shigure smiles, saying her luck has improved since arriving. The duel continues, and 20 minutes later, Shigure has 2,640 medals, while Yaegashi trails with 1,980. Enraged, Yaegashi grabs his shirt, accusing him of rigging the machine in favor of his childhood friend. He denies it, but Shigure steps in. Shigure pulls Yaegashi aside, asking her not to be so violent because he dislikes it. Yaegashi snaps, questioning her authority. Shigure meets her gaze and says it's because he is important to her. He grows nervous at the declaration. Yaegashi makes a complicated expression, asking what's wrong and reminding him they aren't dating. Shigure then asks the ultimate question, whether Yaegashi likes him. She blushes furiously at the question, stammering and unable to answer if she likes him. Just then, a customer calls out to Mubuo, and he steps away to handle the request. Seizing the moment, Yaegashi turns the question back on her rival, asking if Shigure has feelings for him. Shigure replies coolly that it isn't really about feelings. She explains that she simply cannot allow anyone else to have him. She claims that his clumsiness is what makes him who he is, and she refuses to let other women notice it. She coldly tells Yaegashi to take her claws off him. Yaegashi is stunned. She realizes that Shigure is just like her, possessing a sweet public persona inside school, but hiding a darker, more aggressive personality in reality. He returns, apologizing for the wait. Shigure immediately switches back to her sweet act, sprinting to hold his hand and saying how glad she is that he is back. Yaegashi, annoyed by the display, turns her focus back to the game. With only 10 minutes remaining, Yaegashi needs a miracle to close the score gap. She aims for a massive jackpot to turn the tables. While playing, her mind wanders to Shigure's warning. She reflects on her relationship with him. He always goes along with whatever she says, and he is fun to be around, but she wonders if she actually sees him romantically. She glances at him, confused by her own heart, before forcing herself to concentrate. Suddenly, Shigure drags her bench right next to Yaegashi, asking to join her. Shigure points out the massive score difference, 3,980 to 2,640, and taunts that the gap is impossible to close. Just then, Yaegashi hits the jackpot trigger. Excited, she yells that this is her chance to win. However, Shigure reveals that she has triggered a jackpot chance as well. The machine announces the final showdown, a button-mashing race where the characters run to capture a flag. On the screen, the race begins. Yaegashi gets a better start, but in the real world, Shigure resorts to dirty tactics. Yaegashi manages to tackle Shigure's character, jump, and grab the flag first. She celebrates her victory, telling Shigure that she will never beat her in a million years. Shigure clenches her teeth, then immediately runs to the real Mubuo, crying that Yaegashi bullied her. Yaegashi approaches them, asking why Shigure has to be so clingy. As she reaches out to touch his shoulder, Shigure snaps, telling her not to touch him. Yaegashi ignores her, but when she looks at him, he is looking down, completely flustered by their disheveled clothes. Embarrassed and angry at his gaze, Yaegashi raises her hand to slap him. However, she freezes mid-swing. Remembering Shigure's earlier accusation about her being violent towards him, she lowers her hand. She stands there, confused and shaken, wondering why she stopped herself. With summer vacation officially underway, the arcade is packed. A notice on the wall announces that the shop will close early at 5 p.m. due to a staff shortage. It also includes a help wanted sign stating that applicants must be at least 18 years old and that high school students are not eligible. Mubuo takes note of the crowd, but his attention shifts when he notices a child pointing toward a woman in the corner and asking their mother what she is doing. When he looks over, he sees Yagashi glaring at nothing with menacing energy. He approaches her, asking what is wrong and why she is releasing such a dark aura. He touches her finger to snap her out of it. Startled, she slaps him on reflex, immediately apologizing. He asks if she has been acting weird lately because of something between her and Shigure. She denies it, saying it is an internal issue. Just then, Shigure appears, smiling and noting that her ears are burning. Yagashi grumbles about speaking of the devil. She asks why Shigure is here again. Shigure replies that she doesn't need a reason to visit a place full of memories. She explains that her father has always been close to Mubuo's father. This is the arcade where she first met him. She had a weak constitution as a little girl and couldn't do much, so she got absorbed in games. One day, she saw him surrounded by a group of scary-looking guys. She thought he was being bullied and almost called the police, but upon closer inspection, the thugs were actually in awe of his gaming skills. After that, she started entering tournaments with him, but always took second place. She developed a fixation on coming in first, which is why she is determined to beat him one day. Shigure holds his hand while declaring victory. He blushes. Yagashi, watching them, points out that despite the long story, it sounds like Shigure just has feelings for him. Shigure denies it, claiming it is purely game-driven rivalry. She challenges Yagashi to a contest on the drum rhythm game, Taiko no Tatsujin. Yagashi accepts. The game requires striking the drum in time with the music. However, Shigure wins decisively. Yagashi yells that it is cheating because Shigure is using custom, high-performance drumsticks. Shigure points out there is no rule prohibiting them. Seeing Yagashi upset, he intervenes. He offers her his own custom sticks. He explains they are weighted for him, but they should make the game manageable and put her on equal footing with Shigure. She takes the sticks, thanking him. As she holds them, she wonders about the strange, nagging feeling in her chest that has been bothering her since the other day, an emotion she cannot quite name. Using his sticks, she declares she will never lose again. They play a second round. Although she gets much closer, she still loses to Shigure. Yagashi is frustrated, claiming she would have won if she had given her all. Shigure laughs, saying only losers make excuses. They prepare for another round, but he stops them, reminding everyone that the arcade is closing early today. Yagashi complains about the lousy timing. Shigure suggests they just go upstairs since it has been a while. He agrees. Yagashi asks what is upstairs. Shigure looks surprised that she is out of the loop and reveals the truth. Mubuo lives right above the arcade because it is run by his father. Yagashi is amazed. This revelation explains everything that didn't add up before, specifically how a high schooler under 18 was allowed to work there and how he acquired custom gear so quickly. It turns out it is a family business. They move to the employees-only section. Yagashi teases him, calling him a big shot, but he humbly explains that the business belongs to his father, not him. He opens the gate and welcomes them inside. As the girls enter, he reveals that this storeroom is actually his bedroom. Yagashi is shocked to see the space filled with old-fashioned gaming cabinets. He explains that he collected them over time, turning the storage area into his personal arcade. She thinks that if he grew up in a place like this, it is no wonder he is so good at games. He shows off a vintage machine, explaining that it is a rarity these days. It is a mechanical game where the player puts in a 10-yen coin and flicks it like a ping-pong ball to reach a goal. He notes that these machines are the reason older arcades often have changers that dispense 10-yen coins. He reflects on how arcades mirror the current era, with games, systems, and prizes constantly changing, admitting that one of the reasons he works here is to watch that evolution up close. Shigure listens intently, calling his passion admirable. While he talks, Yagashi gets distracted. She suddenly realizes the implications of the situation. She is in a guy's room for the first time. She realizes she is sitting on his bed, the place where he sleeps every night. Her imagination runs wild, visualizing him and her getting close, and even imagining Shigure joining in. Flustered by her own lewd thoughts, she panics and reflexively slaps him in the face. He and Shigure are confused. Shigure asks why she is acting so strange lately. Yagashi quickly insists that nothing is wrong. To distract herself, she picks up a yearbook lying on the desk. She finds a picture of a young Shigure and comments that she hasn't changed a bit. Yagashi then searches for Mubuo's picture. When she finds it, she's surprised to see his real name written there, Edo. She remarks that it is an uncommon name. He agrees, noting people often say that. Just then, Shigure finds a ticket on the desk. It is a pass for a game expo being held tomorrow. He explains it is an industry event for testing the latest machines and hardware. Immediately, both girls shout, Take me, please! He scratches his head, admitting he only has one extra guest ticket. The girls instantly turn back into rivals. They decide that a final battle will determine who gets to go. Yagashi declares she will win, while Shiger vows to defeat her. The chosen game is Space Invaders. The goal is to evade alien attacks while shooting back to accumulate points. Shiger steps up first. She plays skillfully, dodging fire and clearing waves. She finishes with a healthy score of 18,200 points and stands up confidently, believing she has little to worry about. Yagashi takes her turn. She remains completely silent and expressionless. Inside, she knows she has already won. She employs a famous exploit known as the Nagoya attack. She positions her ship exactly 1 unit away from the aliens. Due to a coding quirk, the enemy's shots cannot hit the player at that specific range. Making perfect use of this blind spot, she obliterates the aliens with precise timing. She finishes with an overwhelming victory, scoring over 100,000 points. She celebrates her win, but then the reality hits her. Winning the ticket means she has to go on a date with him tomorrow.
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away.